laptop comes in, and we're so high on laptop technology that they don't know how to work and go through that old laptop. Well, now you got to hire someone to be able to use the old one to find information on it. The example they used in the book, Dapalm used in the book, was an old Apple computer and it was similar to a cartridge to a Nintendo 64. You need to train someone to use that to be able to get the data off of it, which would cost more money. And then my third point is scholars will be able to learn more about writers than they ever had before. Just as, imagine you learning something from a diary where you could learn something from a laptop. A laptop has so many more options of ample amounts of information about the writer or the user. Just look at your laptop in general. Our laptop tells us exactly who we are. We have pictures on it. We have Word documents, everything. It tells us. So the American novelists today, they use devices such as BlackBerries, Gmail, Facebook, and Twitter. So now think about it, like I said previously, these devices will soon be shipped off to university libraries all over the world for stored research. But just think about these technologies for a second. BlackBerries, Gmail, Facebook, and Twitter. Think about all the information you could find off one person of using those accounts from someone. Just think about a BlackBerry, for instance. It's like a mini computer. So you'd have that and their Facebook account. Think how much information you could find out with something about that. And it could tell us a lot about someone's work and their studies, a lot more than just a regular journal or a diary would. Now, some examples on exploring the author's work that you might not have thought of. So you see an author's search history on the web when you're looking through his laptop, and you match the date he searched the material to the same date he wrote and saved the document. Sorry. So the comparison can tell us much more about an author or a scientist than just their publisher prices. Because you can see that what he was searching on in the internet affected his work. Okay, unanswered questions. So, say for example a Facebook account. When someone passes away, who does that go to? Whose is that? Who does it belong to? Consumers really don't know their rights on that. And those can be very private. Yes, they can tell us a lot of information, but consumers don't really know their rights. So, and then again, how much information is too much on like a Facebook account, a Twitter? That's some personal stuff. It might be a little too personal to just be gathering through and scouring through. That's someone's personal life. The future. Computers are logging more data reference. Technology is growing more sophisticated. So Mr. Nelson suggests that new tools for interacting with born digital artifacts, including a wiki functionally, that could allow researchers to annotate materials and share their insights with others. Now, this leads me to my next topic, Wikipedia. Now, Wikipedia in the news. What is Wikipedia? Wikipedia is a reader's written and edited online encyclopedia, meaning if you write it, if you submit something, you have the power to do whatever, edit it and change data. It's up to you. It's up to the people. But Wikimedia's main flaw is all of its authors and editors are also its users, like I just stated. But sometimes these users insert jokes, exaggerations, and even outright lies in their material. So it can be a very iffy source that you might not even want to cite, but we'll get to that later. But Wikipedia is making strides. Executives openly say, "We do not expect you to trust us." It is in the nature of an ever-changing work like Wikipedia that while some articles are of the highest qualities of scholarship, others are admittedly complete rubbish. Now, as a source, Los Angeles Times is one of many newspapers that are starting to allow and according to Wikipedia on their pages. At the same time, there are still many scholarly journals, newspapers, and universities against it. I can remember it when I was in grade school or high school or even at Eastern. Every teacher said stay away from Wikipedia because you don't know if it's true or not. Now, there are positives to using it, but to just cite it as a valid source from a scholarly journal is not correct because there can be faulty posts in there. But I did research Wikipedia, and they just had a conference July 15th, 2 days ago, and they all met at George Washington University. It was about 1,000 Wikipedians, and they announced that it is a together thing, and they're all going to work together to make strides to help improve Wikipedia. And that's what their main focus is. If everyone comes together, it can be a better place. And they're going to try to weed out people that are putting these false facts on it. Okay. I wanted to end with this quote from the book is New York Times. Johnson says, "Whatever the verdict on Wikipedia, one thing should not change. No matter who your sources are, when you sign your name, you're responsible for every word, every thought, every concept." And this really hit home with me because when you're using Wikipedia, this is perfect. You know the dangers of using Wikipedia. So if you use it, you better look into deeper studies and see if the facts are true or if it's just someone just making a joke. Because I remember in high school, a kid wrote a whole paper using Wikipedia, and the person he wrote a biography on, he said died, because that's what Wikipedia said. Actually, he didn't die. Someone just wrote that as a joke, and that he ended up failing the paper. So you use Wikipedia at your own cost. Okay, so here's my research. Sorry, I'm messing up. Alright, so here's my research that I found on Google Books that I found is pretty much really eye-opening. It will be harder to find information about books you love. This is talking about Google Books and the settlement, and here I actually wanted to show you the settlement page. So you can pull this up. If you just go to googlebooksettlement.com, it might not show clearly because of the light, but if you go to googlebooksettlement.com, it has all the terms and agreements on the settlement and what's happening with the case. Okay. So, for the first point, it'll be harder to find information about books you love. Now, this is stating that authors from Ursula Le Guin to Michael Chabon have spoken out against the Google Book settlement, decrying the way it seems to wrest control of books away from authors. Both Le Guin and Chabon, along thousands of other authors, opted out of the Google Book settlement, and authors who opted out of the GBS don't want their work and writers don't want their work to be digitized. So then, if they do this, it gets their work off of Google Books, and the writers will start refusing to do business with the publishers who have the settlement with Google Books, and then they'll refuse to sign contracts. And this would obviously cut down even more of your ability to find the books online. So my second point, Google will make loads of money off orphan books. Now, out of roughly 12 million books that Google has digitized, 2 million are in the public domain. That means that they were published before 1923 and have fallen out of the copyright. But some are more recent books that have fallen through the cracks of the publishing world. There are at least 1 million of these books called orphan works. That means they're still under copyright, but they're out of print and nobody knows where the authors are. Many of those books are science fiction and fantasy, and novels that were in print for just a few short years. Now you can read large parts of those books for free. And for a subscription fee, you can even read all of them. So see, Google is making money off books that don't even have authors. That they can't even find their authors. They're orphan books. So Google looks at it as, well, we don't know who wrote the book. They can't sue us because they don't even know their work's digitized, or they might be even dead and no one's claiming it, and the publishing company doesn't even realize it. So they're going to make money off of it, which is pretty eye-opening. And my last eye-opening topic was libraries and bookstores will be the same. Now think about this. Google digitizing all these books is pretty much like you loading up your laptop at home and looking through their catalog is like going to a library and looking through their shelves. I mean, and even if you think about it, it's even more convenient to just load up Google Books than having to drive to the library. And then Google Books also offers a function where you can skim the first 20 pages of a book. So you can kind of test out a book just like if you went to the library and you just opened a book and read, the first 10 pages. You can do that on Google Books. And that's another reason why Google Books is such a scary thought, because even with writers that don't want their stuff on Google Books, Google can still digitize some of their work, like 10 pages, 10 to 20 pages. It's in the settlement, but the settlement's really long and just pretty confusing. But they can digitize it to a shorter version where you can even test it out on Google Books. So, what does this mean? It is up to us. We the people need to think about the future and technology. Google Books and Wikipedia can be amazing tools that help us explore the world around us. But think about it. It's up to the people with Wikipedia, with the source, and Google Books. Are we just going to let Google stand there and use and just abuse and digitize books? Or we have to say something. It's up to the people. That's the thing. especially that I've learned in this class, is technology and society. It's up to the people. Yes, technology can be very good, and it can lead us to new openings, but we should think about the stuff that's happening right now. And with Google Books, is they're going to become a monopoly and just take over everything with books. They're going to take away public knowledge of books and process it into something that's making money for them. Something that should be public knowledge and free to us, they're making money on. So what we need to do is speak up against it and see the settlement. And the thing with the settlement is the authors are coming out and saying that it's with the publishers, because the publishers have contracts with authors, and the publishers made a settlement with Google, and the settlement was like 160 million. But thinking about that, what's 160 million when Google has over 12 million books right now? I stated that they have digitized that people can buy and look up, and they're making money off the orphan books. So it's up to the people to do something about Google Books and make sure everyone is getting a fair share. It's up to the people to use Wikipedia, and it's up to the people to archive everything legitimately and think about ways to do that in the most least expensive way, and to notice what technologies are too much information and stuff like that. I hope you have learned something from this. Thank you very much.